In this video, I'm going to go over a common design flaw that is in a lot of JVC MiniDV decks, and pretty much you'll find these decks in a lot of combo units where you get, like, for example, the MiniDV and S-VHS decks, or MiniDV and DVD recorders and stuff like that. It also affects a lot of camcorders too as well and stuff. But either way it goes, we'll go over what commonly fails on these and why these things eat tapes essentially. And here you go, you can see right here, you can see the break that's supposed to be here. Well, that's not supposed to be like that. That's obviously supposed to be a pin in there, and then it's supposed to go like this pretty much. But the main problem is that they didn't use enough plastic, not because it became brittle or anything like that. It's just not enough plastic to begin with, and this here kind of flexes even when they were new. Over time it just breaks right here typically, and so it's like it's not as bad as this. Is one of the worst ones. Some of them you'll still have the pin and it'll just start fracturing right there. But either way it goes, that's one of the reasons why these eat tapes and stuff, because this is no longer functioning or it breaks or whatever the case is, and that actually causes the problem. The other common issue with these is pretty much with this magnetic clutch system, and Sony and JVC uses this pretty much, and even though it looks fine here and you look on top, it looks good here. Once I remove this to get to the sub chassis, you'll see where it breaks, and pretty much they use the metal and then they use a plastic ring gear on the outside of that metal, and over time the plastic shrinks around that metal, and of course it ends up cracking, and then it ends up when, you know, the capstan motor, because it's driven through gears here, which is driven through the capstan motor and stuff like that, which drives a belt, which I'm not sure you can see it now, but you'll see it when I get the mechanism apart under there, and over time that will cause it when it hits that, because the space is right, or that teeth, it ends up jamming up the mechanism and stuff. So that's another design issue with these. So I'm going to go ahead and take this top chassis out, because you do got to take this off to get to the actual sub chassis. And you can see there I had to take a lot out already, which I had to take the back tension assembly out. I also had to take, you know, the pendulum gear system there out, and a few other bits and pieces. And of course you got to remove the loader and all that. So I'm going to go get this completely out, and we'll go and look, and I'll show you where it breaks pretty much. So now I did break it down to the sub chassis, and you can see I got the real assembly and stuff over there. And then here I got the magnetic clutch system, and I'll tell you where it's broken. But you can see here, this belt goes to this gear here, which is driven by this capstan motor right here. And that turns in either direction, turn one or the other wheel. This here essentially just pushes the plate down, so it allows that gear to activate to the other gear, which is this magnetic clutch system right here. And then that'll allow it to either turn either wheels and stuff like that, depending on what mode the mechanism in, and it pushes down this here, which enables that. But either way it goes, we'll go ahead and look at exactly what breaks here. And you can kind of see it right there, and there's your space right there. That's where they end up cracking, because it has this metal here and it has this plastic around this piece of metal, and over time that plastic shrinks, but the metal doesn't, of course, and that's what causes these nylon gears to end up cracking and stuff. Typically when these break, you'll usually hear like a click, click, click if you go to rewind forward or whatever, and then when it gets worse, it'll end up jamming up, of course, and then of course it's going to eat tapes because now the wheels are moving. So that's usually what happens there. So I'm going to go and take that apart, and I'll show you more closely what it is. So I went ahead and took this magnetic clutch system apart to kind of explain how it works and why it eats tapes when this gear essentially cracks. But you can kind of see how it works here. You got this metal disc right here, and you got this magnet on this bigger gear right here. And if you turn this around, you can see there, that's where the also geared to as well, which connects to this geared belt right here, which connects to this gear, which connects to the capstan motor. And essentially this will always spin, but then this allows, when the tape's at end of tape, of course, this is supposed to stop, and it'll allow for slippage while this will still be spinning, but this will no longer spin. And how this works is this goes through here, of course, which then connects to this top gear, which drives this pendulum right there back and forth and stuff. And when that stopped, then this bigger gear will still spin while this is stopped there, and that's what it's designed to do. It's supposed to allow for slippage, so that way you're not ending up, breaking the teeth off this gear belt or end up destroying the capstan motor when it's stalled out, of course. So that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to slip. But what happens is, you can see right there, there's a little space right there, and that's cracked. And it cracks because plastic shrinks over time, but the metal doesn't. So that's why it ends up cracking, of course, because it got nowhere else to go. And you can probably see it more on this side. So when this cracks, this is supposed to be engaged with this gear when it's in a certain mode, and the mechanism, is in that mode there to allow it to turn this. And what happens is it ends up getting caught where that space is because it's wider, and that's what ends up not allowing the wheels to actually turn as the capstan turns. So your take-up wheel and stuff is not actually turning like it's supposed to and stuff, and that's what causes the tape to therefore get eaten, because it's not taking up the tape like it's supposed to, because it ends up getting jammed up on this. Now, normally early signs that this is cracking and going bad, you'll hear it, like if you go and rewind and forward or whatever, you hear a series of clicks and stuff, and that tells you right there that this is going bad. But in more severe cases, this will get jammed up. Of course, your wheels won't end up turning there, and when they don't turn, it's not taking up the tape like it's supposed to while the capstan motor's still running and stuff. So it's going to end up looping the tape out this way there, and that's why you end up spilling tape. So that's what causes the problem. Now, how to fix this? There's really no good way to fix it because it's nylon, and trying to find glue and adhesive to actually glue nylon is not that good because it doesn't really actually bond well with the nylon plastic. And so even though they do got stuff that's more designed for nylon and activator and all that, I find it doesn't really work all that well and stuff like that. So the way I usually fix it is I will go ahead and use that, but what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take this as much as possible. I'll go ahead and shrink this down just a little bit, the metal, so it's not going to break in another spot, and then split the gear in half, of course, when I go put it back on. And then I'll end up adding and kind of, creating a little bit gap there and a little bit gap there, enough where it's going to mesh with the other gear, but it's not going to jam up. I'll go and do a test run and make sure it's not jamming up with this, and that it is turning nice and smooth at least. And that's usually the way I fix it, but I wouldn't say it's a permanent fix, essentially. The permanent fix, of course, would be to try to find a good one of these. And you can find them in JVC camcorders, and sometimes you find one that's good, and to take it out of there and to put it essentially in there. And of course, that's going to be your permanent fix, but you also still do have to address this issue right here. And to fix this, typically what I'll do is I'll find a pin, or I'll make a pin out of a nail or something, and then I'll go ahead and actually glue this back here, and I'll use JBO. JBO actually works really good with this part for some reason. I'm not sure it's slightly different plastic or not, but it bonds well over time. And then I'll go around it too, so it's not just relying on the plastic, but the JB weld itself. But you don't want to put too much, because if you put too much, then it's going to bind up, of course. But I do make it where it goes all the way around, so it creates like a sleeve there, and then therefore it allows that brake to work properly, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and get this somewhat back together, and I'll show you the end result. So I went ahead and put the repaired magnetic clutch gear as best as I could back in there, and what I'm going to do next is load the mechanism. Make sure I'm not getting no binding or clicking sounds. So let's go ahead and do this here. Alright, we'll load it there. And when I turn, I'm going to use the pinch roller here to turn the capstan shaft. And it should turn that gear and also the clutch there. And you can see there, it's nice and smooth. There's no clicking sounds no more. And that's what you want. So this is good now. This is what I wanted. I don't ain't binding or feel like it's binding, because if you get the space too wide or too narrow, you'll feel it as it binds and stuff, and I'm not feeling anything. It feels nice and smooth. So I'm going to go and get the reassembly put back together, and we'll go ahead and test it. Another common issue, I used to see this all the time on JVC camcorders, is this cam gear. Over time, after a certain amount of load and unload cycles and stuff, this gear will either wear pretty much a notch into this groove right here, and this won't allow this to, go smooth pretty much, bind up, and you'll see that if it ever loads halfway and jams up or whatever, you have that problem. It's likely probably going to be this cam gear, so that's something else to watch out for. So you want to go ahead and ensure that you have everything properly timed, of course, and they do got timing holes and stuff. It's actually pretty easy to time one of these. So once you go ahead and put the real assembly back together and stuff, you want to go and do a final test. And we'll go ahead and load the mechanism once again. So I'll go and put in the load mode. And then we're just going to see and make sure that, and actually got to go a little bit further, because I remember that. And make sure that, there. And then you want to hold this while you turn to make sure it got enough torque, but it also slips as well as like it's supposed to. And you can see there, yeah, she's working good, so that definitely fixed the problem. So yeah, this should actually work. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can find a better condition one of these here. Actually, I already have one fixed. I'll just jump to that one and show you how I fixed it. So we went ahead and jumped to one that's already fixed and that's cured pretty much. And you can see here, what I did was, this was not broken. I took this out of another deck, and what I did was I put the JB weld over and around it to kind of create a sleeve and essentially more material, so that way it doesn't snap and the plastic itself is not just taking all that load essentially. And the load is, as you can see, the spring here is constantly putting pressure on there, and the way it was a little bit too thin, and over time it just goes like this. It kind of bends that way, ends up snapping, and of course you end up losing the posted stuff. So I reinforced it a little bit so that way it doesn't happen again essentially. On this one here, I actually placed the whole magnetic clutch system here, and I took one out of a JVC camcorder that wasn't correct, and I just put it in the deck, so I know it's gonna work fine. So that's, pretty much fully assembled. Also make sure too, and the reason why I got red dot right here, because I actually wanted to keep the position of the back tension right there, which is very important. You want to make sure you mark where you're going to put your back tension there, so when you reassemble it, you have it in the same position. It has the same amount of back tension on there as it's running and stuff. You're not throwing the back tension off essentially. But there you go. It's fully reassembled. I'll just go ahead and put the loader back on there, and then wait for everything to cure, of course, because I just did this one maybe about 4 or 5 hours ago. And I'll put it back in the deck and we'll see if it works. So went ahead and put the repaired MiniDV deck back into the chassis. I figure I'll go and show you operation before I put it on a monitor and show you picture. So let's go ahead and get a tape in there. It's getting ready to play a tape, and there you go, it's playing. And here I'll go and show you the time code right there. Okay, and then I'll go ahead and show you, I believe it's fast forward, or at least search forward, and then I'll show you search rewind. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and go stop, and then let's just show you fast forward. And that's fast forward. And then I'll go and show you rewind. And you can see rewind. And then we'll just go to play. And yep, it is playing a tape. And then we'll show you pause. And that's pause. Okay, and then we'll show you the final thing, which is unloading the tape. You can see there, and unloaded the tape. And here, let me go and show you there. And yep, no damage to the tape like edging or anything like that. So that gear's fully functional, so I'll get this hooked up to a monitor and I'll show you a picture. So I went ahead and hooked the deck up to my PC capture card. We're going to go ahead and put a tape in, so there you go. And then it's going to automatically play it, and we should get a picture. And you can see there, no pixelation, no blockiness or anything like that. The deck is playing back perfectly. And yes, I have ran this off camera for over half an hour just to make sure. Alright, we can go to fast scan. You see the fast scan works perfect. It's going to go automatically to pause, and then we'll go reverse direction now. And you can see that's the reverse direction. Alright, we can hit stop, and now we're just going to go ahead and hit the fast forward. And you can see there, it's pretty quiet too as well. And then we'll go ahead and go back into play. Yep, as you can see there, it works really good. And then we'll go into the fast rewind. And then there you go. And you can see it goes into the fast rewind. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and show you eject while we're at it. Alright. And there you go. It unloads the tape. And no tape eaten. So this concludes the video for the MiniDV S-VHS combo deck. And it's probably one of the only few in the world that actually works now on both decks. But this concludes the video.